Alright, it's time for my February 2018 update of my custom Lego city. This is actually a fairly big update in the sense that I actually ended up taking my entire city apart and basically reassembling it. Those boards that you see back there, where many of my modulars are sitting, I had plywood and the plywood had warped. You can actually see that in a previous video. It was really, really bad. And so I had to take that down. Of course, to do that, I had to then move the train track, and it became basically just almost, I won't say easier, but more efficient, I guess, to take everything off the table and kind of put it all back together again. In doing so, I actually was able to change my railroad track up quite a bit. And so I think I really like this layout a lot better. Now, in a future video, I'll actually have all my trains running. I opted not to this time because they're a little bit loud and a little bit distracting. But if I kind of give you an aerial view here of my main sort of switch here, you can see down here I have a outer loop, and you can't really see because it's going to go underneath the table back there, but on the inside I actually have an inner loop, and then they're connected by this slight sort of interchange. And so what that's going to allow me to do now is I can run a train on the outer loop, I can run a train on the inner loop, and I don't have to worry about them crashing or one kind of catching up to the other one or anything like that. So that makes my life a lot easier. And then the upper loop, the raised track here, that's actually the metal 9-volt track, and that one has a third train on it, a green train. I forget the set number off the top of my head, but it's an older one. I think I showed that off in an earlier video as well, so you can go back and check that out if you want. Looking at the setup itself, along the top boards now, I have mostly my modular, so you can see that I own quite a few of them. So down at the far end, you can see the Grand, there we go, the Grand Emporium. I've got the fire station, I've got the town hall, I've got the pool and barbershop, the Parisian restaurant, and then I have here the Palace Cinema, and that's the Brick Bank, and then that's my custom grocery store that I built. Maybe someday I'll add a third floor to that just to raise it up a little bit, but I think it kind of fits in pretty well. And then down here, of course, the pet shop and the corresponding apartment that comes with the pet shop, and then the town square. And then you might notice that I have this empty spot there. That's where, at least for the moment, the diner is going to go, which I do own. I just haven't built that yet. So that will kind of complete that look. And then giving you a tour over here, I have what is designed to be kind of a residential and, I don't know, like small shops. So right now, those are all pretty much just official Lego sets. Some of the, I don't know, I think people call them like the mini modulars. Mostly what I have going on back there. And I've got one of the creator houses and a house on fire for my fire trucks. Speaking of fire trucks, my front corner here is where I put my fire station for now. That is also just an official Lego set. A lot of this stuff is still official sets. But I happen to like that one. I like that it has kind of an angle to it. That center piece there, I don't know. I just think it looks good. And I'm quite happy with it. Of course, it doesn't have much detail on the inside, but I think at least from the outside it looks good. And I like the extra height that it gives me in that portion of my table. If I swing around, kind of give you a view over here, on the far side, it's going to be a little bit hard to make out, but I do have back there, that's actually a cave, a tunnel. The train goes through it underneath and then also over it. I have my custom bridge. It's basically a fairly heavily modified version of the Spider-Man bridge from a few years back. I got 2 copies of that, and then I ended up having to raise it up, and there's a whole system of stuff in the supports where my crooks and villains hide and stuff, and I did a video on that, so you can check that out. Speaking of other buildings that I've done videos for already, that's my custom hospital, which I think is, it was one of my first attempts at building my own sort of mock. And quite frankly, I still think that it looks pretty good, so I'm happy with that. I did do a video on that, although the quality is very poor, so someday maybe I'll redo that. Perhaps I'll add another story to my hospital as well. And then right now I have, this is the one area that I'm not particularly pleased with. I have my police station here. This set is okay. I like aspects of it, but I think it needs to be fleshed out more than what I've done. That's just basically the set itself with nothing extra. So I'll work on that. And then swinging down through here, if I step back again, you can see that I have mostly the classic amusement rides that Lego has released lately. The fairly new carousel, the awesome Ferris wheel, and then the mixer. And then I have just a couple of shops and the Octane gas station and a couple of other things that I've built kind of along the edge. And that basically does it for my city. I do have, and I'll probably show this in a future video, I do have down underneath there's a villain or a crook hideout. They have some vehicles and some little things there, but nothing much really to show off right now. So this is basically where I'm at on my city. Let me know what you think, any suggestions or ideas. I really need to figure out where to put the diner. I'm not sure how it's going to look, and I kind of have to wait. The idea is to put it there. I just don't know how it's going to look with the other modulars and whatnot. So yeah, I have to build it, I guess, and take a look. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll have more soon. Goodbye.